Make sure you guys get your score predictions down in the comments. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know if you'd make any changes to the team that I select. What is up, guys? Welcome back to Cop Logic. The games are coming thick and fast after the international break, and it's already time to jump back into the Premier League. We're already back at Anfield. It is, of course, match day 14 of 38 in the Premier League, and it is Liverpool versus Fulham. 2 o'clock kickoff, this one at Anfield. Before we jump into team selection, let's take a look back at the historical head-to-head of Liverpool versus Fulham. So Liverpool have lost just 1 of their last 10 Premier League games against Fulham. That includes 7 wins and 2 draws, and then of course a 1-0 loss at home in March of 2021. So very promising head-to-head there for Liverpool in terms of win-loss. We should really be looking at a win. Fulham, if you want to look at recent form, they had a very controversial win against Wolves where, let's be honest, like many teams this season, Wolves were pretty much cheated by VAR out of a point there, or maybe even 3 points. And somehow they managed to lose to Manchester United, which is pretty impressive given that Andre Onana was in goal. And if that wasn't enough to convince you of a Liverpool win, Fulham have only scored 4 goals in their last 16 visits to Anfield. So I would say, given all of that, things are looking pretty promising for Liverpool in this one. Not much of a goal threat, and only 1 win in the last 10 games to write home about for Fulham. So let's talk about injuries. Obviously, Liverpool have still got the 2 big ones. Alisson still out, Jota still out, and then of course Robbo is still ongoing with his injury, and Bajcetic and Thiago hopefully still exist, which brings us nicely on to team selection. So starting with the goalkeeper, it has to be Caoimhin Kelleher for this one. Obviously, Alisson still out with injury. Kelleher had a very good performance actually against Lask. He made 3 very critical saves, and hopefully just carries that form over into Fulham. We'll be looking to get another clean sheet. I mean, the good thing about bringing in a second choice goalkeeper is they always want to perform, right? They always want to put on a good performance. So he's going to want another clean sheet, and he's a very, very capable second choice. I would say he is the best second choice goalkeeper in the Premier League. In terms of the fullbacks, I'm going Trent Alexander-Arnold and Kostas Tsimikas. First of all, Trent obviously sat out the game against Lask, so he's well rested. Obviously, a brilliant performance for Trent against Manchester City, so he'll be looking to just carry on that form. And then equally, we've got Kostas Tsimikas, who played very well against Manchester City and very well against Lask. In fact, he hit the crossbar against Lask, so he was very unlucky not to get a goal there. And hopefully, again, similar to Kelleher, he just continues that form into this Fulham game. Obviously, as always, Trent is first choice, and Kostas Tsimikas is the only choice, as Andrew Robertson continues on his injury journey, so we can't have really any complaints there. At centre-back, I'm going Ibrahima Konate, and that's not because I think Joel Matip isn't good enough or anything. I just think Fulham is a really good game to get Konate back bedded into the Premier League. Obviously, Konate played against Lask. Matip had a really, really good performance against Manchester City, but I think ultimately we all know Jurgen Klopp's main centre-back pairing is going to be Ibrahima Konate and Virgil van Dijk, so the sooner we can get Konate back up to speed in the Premier League, the better, and I think there's no better game really than Fulham at home at Anfield, so I'm going with Konate, but I could see Klopp potentially picking Joel Matip for this one, just because off the back of his performance against City, he probably does deserve to get this game. I just think it makes more sense tactically to bring Konate in, get him up to speed in this game. And obviously there's no reason not to partner him back up with Virgil van Dijk, who obviously sat out the game against Lask, so he's rested, he's ready to go. And looking at this back line, I'm expecting a clean sheet. Kelleher will want one. If you've got Konate and Van Dijk in there as the centre-backs, that is as solid as it gets. And Trent and Tsimikas both appear to be on pretty good form, so promising back line there, and probably the best we can do under the circumstances as well. Moving into the midfield, whether you like it or not is, I think, still up for debate, but I am going Alexis Mac Allister as CDM. The rotation between him and Endo seems to be what Klopp's going for. Mac Allister in the Premier League, Endo in the Cup games and Europa League, and that's been working so far. Despite what people might think about Mac Allister's performances, we're getting wins when he's in CDM. It might not look pretty, but it's doing the job. So for now, I think that's the best choice we've got. It does occasionally cause some issues with our central midfield pairings, but I actually think this week for this game we're going to be okay. So speaking of central midfield, of course on the right side we're going Dominic Szoboszlai. There's no way he doesn't get in this team. He's the constant that we all know is going to be in there, so it's really who we're putting on the left that is up for debate, so let's jump into that. I'm going Ryan Gravenberch, who just seems to be in a really good form at the moment, and the sooner we can get him up to speed and able to play regular Premier League football, I think the better it's going to be for this team. So again, similar to Konate. I think Fulham is a great game to throw him in for. Sort of cameo he had against Manchester City, he looked amazing. Everyone's been talking about that since it happened. So a chance for him to get as close to 90 minutes as he can under his belt. I'm sure he will come off at some point for maybe a Harvey Elliott or a Curtis Jones. Or maybe we bring Wataru Endo on, we move McAllister up the field. But I would give Ryan Gravenberch a solid, like, at least 70 minutes. I think he's definitely earned it, and he's got to be more than capable against Fulham. So Fulham at Anfield, I think, is a great game for him. So I'm going Ryan Gravenberch, Dominic Szoboszlai as our central midfield. On the right wing, it has to be Mo Salah. I know he started against Lask, but this guy doesn't really need resting. He's a constant presence in this Liverpool side, and we surely can't sit him out in the Premier League. He wouldn't want that. I don't think the fans want that. Yeah, it's Mo Salah. We don't really have another choice on the right wing anyway, but listen, everyone wants Mo Salah to play every game possible, and he's gonna. Again, left wing, I'm going Luis Diaz. I know he started against Lask, but with Jota out injured, we don't really have too many other options on the left wing. This could be Cody Gakpo. Again, he did start against Lask, and I think there's a chance Klopp could start Cody Gakpo on the left wing, but I don't think that's going to be the case. I think Luis Diaz, you want to get him as well back up to speed after everything that's gone on with him recently. We want him to be a regular starter in the Premier League, so it only makes sense that he starts this game. The likelihood is he will come off at some point for Cody Gakpo, and they will rotate that sort of playtime between themselves while Jota is off injured. And then that brings us on to our striker, which kind of picks itself. If Cody Gakpo is our left wing rotation option for now, then that only leaves Darwin Núñez as the striker, and I don't think anyone can have too many complaints with that. He sat Lask out, so again, well rested, ready to go. He's going to want some goals. He had a really good international break with Uruguay. Didn't get a goal against City, but that was a really tight-knit game, to be fair. I'm sure he'll be looking to push on against Fulham, and I'm pretty sure it was his debut goal in the Premier League was against Fulham away, and it was a pretty spectacular goal as well, a little back heel flick. So I think he'll be looking to put on a similar performance, and I would say that is a team more than capable of beating Fulham. And if we look at the win percentages, Liverpool 77% for a win, 14% for a draw, and 9% for a Fulham win. Very, very dominant Liverpool win percentage there, and I think that will be reflected in the scoreline. I'm going big and bold. I am backing Kelleher on that back line to keep another clean sheet, and I'm going to say 3-0. Liverpool 3, Fulham 0. Make sure you guys get your score predictions down in the comments. Let us know what you guys think. Let us know if you'd make any changes to the team that I select. And as always, guys, keep yourself locked down to the channel. If you're not subscribed yet, then make sure you subscribe for all that transfer news coming up in January, and we will see you guys in the next video. Peace.